what it is, why we're rolling it out again, stuff like that. Go back to the last document, which I want to get to a couple other places or other points, so I'm not going to have you look at the last document extensively right now, but the last document that you have in the collection there, okay, is a commentary on the Alliance for Progress from a Latin American perspective. It looks a lot like this. Okay, how's the Alliance for Progress doing? Is it achieving its goals? You know, if you look at this political cartoon, what does it tell you? No. And what's the date of what's going on here?
Fifth year.
Oh, good. See, you spot that. So even though it's okay, so yeah, fifth year. You know, just the really kind of blatant critique here is that it's slow. It's literally moving at a snail's pace, right? That last document by Laris is telling you the same thing. And maybe just for now, the one thing that's pretty striking to me looking at that document is the when. When is Laris reporting on all of these? Just take my word for it. He's saying it's pretty slow. 63. Okay. And the momentum, the enthusiasm for the counter-Castro initiative have slowed down quite a bit, enough that it's of concern to this one particular Latin American here. Okay, so I think the question then, maybe the obvious one, is why didn't this work? Okay, and there's a lot of reasons. I want to talk a little bit about Brazil maybe as a specific example of that. But anyone want to throw out some ideas?
Obviously, the communists were against it, but so were the right wing. They had the most coups, so they were against it.
Yeah, you could say that. Again, this is like Brian was mentioning before. This isn't a two-way. This isn't a one-way street where it's just the United States making things work or not work in Latin America. You know, Latin Americans are reacting, and they're playing off of this as well. And so yeah, there's this sense from how'd you call them, the Latin American elite, that they're
the right wing.
The right wing. Okay. We're all conservative Latin Americans, generally in the elite class though, because if you're one of them, think about what you're being asked to do.
Give up your privilege.
Okay, and think about the tiara. Give up your land for land reform. Okay, so Latin American elites are not going to be receptive to all of the changes that the United States is proposing. And so if you look at this particular example here of Kennedy talking to the Venezuelan president, this is the kind of guy that American policymakers have identified as the kind of person the United States wanted to support. Okay. A moderate reformer, kind of center-left in terms of the political spectrum. Because clearly Kennedy has said you can't go on with the old Eisenhower approach and just say nothing in Latin America can change. They said if you do that, then you're going to end up like Batista. And again, if you think back to that document by Herter, they've identified this. They said, look, what we're doing isn't working. What Batista's doing isn't working. Okay. But they said, look, but on the other hand, we don't like Fidel either. Right? So what do you do in Cuba? Who do they want to run Cuba? In a general sense. I mean, they don't have names, but...
They want a democratically elected government, don't they? Isn't that what
They want a democratically elected leader who respects really, American business interests. Doesn't let Fidel sit right next to him and tell him what to do. And the problem is, of course, by 1958 that the center, I mean, they're looking for the center.